Let's dive into some essential phrasal verbs that can elevate your English skills. When you act on something, it means you take action based on some kind of information or advice. For example, we need to act on the feedback from our clients to improve our services. Or, the manager acted on the consultant's recommendations to streamline the process. To back out means to decide not to go through with something you agreed to. Like, the investor backed out of the deal at the last minute, leaving us in a difficult position. Or, we can't afford to back out now, we've already invested too much time and money. When you bank on something, you're relying on it to happen. For example, we're really banking on the new product launch to boost our revenue. Or, you can always bank on Jane to deliver results under pressure. Bailout means to help a person or company, especially by giving them money to avoid failure. For example, the government had to bail out several banks during the financial crisis. Or, they were struggling financially, but luckily their parent company bailed them out. To break down means to analyze something step by step, or it can also mean when something stops working. For example, let's break down the project into smaller tasks to make it easier to manage. Or, the server broke down, causing a delay in our operations. When you bring about something, it means you cause it to happen. For example, the new management team brought about significant changes in the company culture. Or, we hope that this new strategy will bring about positive results. Bring forward means to move something to an earlier time. For example, we've decided to bring forward the meeting to Monday instead of Friday. Or, due to high demand, we'll bring forward the launch date of our product. To bring in means to involve someone or something, usually to improve or add value. For example, we've decided to bring in a marketing consultant to help with our branding. Or, the new campaign has brought in thousands of new customers. When you bring off something, it means you succeed in doing something difficult. For example, despite all the obstacles, the team managed to bring off the merger. Or, we didn't think we could make the deadline, but we brought it off in the end. Bring up means to mention or introduce a topic in conversation. For example, in the meeting, Sarah brought up an important issue about the budget. Or, I'm going to bring up the new proposal in the next board meeting. To burn out means to become exhausted from too much work or stress. For example, many employees are burning out because of the intense workload. Or, he had to take a break because he was completely burned out from working long hours. When you buy out someone, it means you purchase their share or ownership of a company. For example, the larger company is planning to buy out its smaller competitor. Or, the founders decided to buy out the investors to regain full control of the company. Call off means to cancel something that was planned. For example, we had to call off the event due to bad weather. Or, the project was called off because of budget cuts. To carry on means to continue doing something despite difficulties. For example, despite the challenges, we must carry on with the project. Or, the team carried on working even after the meeting was canceled. Carry out means to perform or complete a task or activity. For example, we need to carry out a market analysis before launching the new product. Or, the research team carried out the experiment successfully. To cash in on something means to take advantage of a situation, often to make a profit. For example, the company is hoping to cash in on the growing demand for electric vehicles. Or, they quickly cashed in on the viral trend by launching a new product. When you catch up, you reach the same level as others, or you update yourself on the latest information. For example, we need to catch up with our competitors in terms of technology. Or, let's set a meeting next week to catch up on the latest developments. To close down means to stop operating a business permanently. For example, due to financial difficulties, the company had to close down several branches. Or, after 20 years in business, the family-run store decided to close down. Come across can mean finding something unexpectedly or giving a certain impression. For example, I came across an interesting article while researching the market. Or, in the interview, she came across as very professional and confident. When you come up with something, it means you think of an idea or plan. For example, the marketing team needs to come up with a new strategy for the next quarter. Or, he came up with a creative solution to solve the production issue. Cut back on means to reduce something. For example, we need to cut back on our spending to save for the new project. The company decided to cut back on overtime hours to manage costs. Cut down on also refers to reducing, often in terms of consumption. I'm trying to cut down on sugar for better health. The team aims to cut down on unnecessary meetings to improve productivity. Cut off means to stop something abruptly. The supplier cut off our delivery after the payment was late. We were cut off from the internet during the storm. Draw up means to create a document or plan. The lawyer will draw up the contract for the new partnership. We need to draw up a budget before the meeting. Drop off refers to delivering something or someone. I will drop off the reports at the office later. Can you drop off the kids at school on your way? Drop out means to leave a program or activity before completion. He decided to drop out of the course due to personal reasons. Many students drop out of college because of financial issues. Fall through means something has failed to happen as planned. Our deal fell through at the last minute. The project fell through due to lack of funding. Figure out means to solve a problem or understand something. We need to figure out how to increase our sales. She finally figured out the solution to the technical issue. Fill in means to complete a form or document. Please fill in your details on this application. I need you to fill in for me while I'm on vacation. Fill out is similar to fill in but often refers to completing a form in its entirety. Make sure to fill out the registration form completely. He filled out the survey to provide feedback. Follow up means to check on something after an initial action. I will follow up with the client next week. It's important to follow up on leads to close sales. Get ahead means to advance or succeed. To get ahead in your career, you need to network effectively. She worked hard to get ahead of her competition. Get back to means to return to someone with information. I'll get back to you with the details by tomorrow. Can you get back to me after you've spoken to the manager? Get by means to manage or survive, often with limited resources. I can get by on a tight budget for now. It's tough, but we'll get by until the next funding comes in. Get down to means to start focusing on something seriously. Let's get down to business and discuss the project. We need to get down to the details before making a decision. Get on with means to continue doing something. After the interruption, we should get on with the presentation. It's time to get on with our work and meet the deadline. Get through means to successfully deal with a difficult situation. I'm just trying to get through this busy week. We managed to get through the challenges together. Go after means to pursue something. He decided to go after his dream job despite the risks. The company is going after new markets to expand its reach. Go ahead means to proceed with something. You can go ahead and submit the proposal. If you're ready, go ahead and start the presentation. Go over means to review or examine something. Let's go over the report before the meeting. I need to go over my notes to prepare for the exam. Hold off means to delay something. For example, we should hold off on the meeting until we have all the data. Another usage could be, can we hold off on the decision until next week? Hold on is used to ask someone to wait. You might say, hold on a second while I check that report. Or, please hold on, I'll be right back with the information. Hold up refers to a delay or obstruction. For instance, what's holding up the project? And, there was a hold up at the airport due to bad weather. Keep up with means to stay informed or maintain pace. You could say, I need to keep up with the latest industry trends. Or, it's hard to keep up with all the changes in technology. Layoff means to terminate employees, often for economic reasons. For example, the company had to lay off several workers last year. Another usage is, they decided to lay off staff to cut costs. Look into means to investigate or examine. You might say, I will look into that issue and get back to you. Or, can you look into the customer complaints? Look over means to review something briefly. For instance, please look over this proposal before we submit it. And, I'll look over the documents tonight. Make up for means to compensate for something. You could say, we need to make up for lost time. Or, he worked extra hours to make up for his absence. Pass up means to decline an opportunity. For example, I can't pass up this chance to work with a great team. Another usage is, she decided to pass up the promotion for personal reasons. Pay off means to yield positive results. You might say, all our hard work finally paid off. Or, investing in training will pay off in the long run. Pick up means to improve or increase. For instance, sales are starting to pick up this quarter. And, I need to pick up my pace to meet the deadline. Put off means to postpone something. You could say, let's put off the meeting until next week. Or, don't put off your tasks until the last minute. Put together means to assemble or organize. For example, I'll put together a presentation for the meeting. And, can you put together a report on our findings? Run out of means to deplete a supply. You might say, we've run out of printer ink. Or, don't run out of time on this project. Set up means to establish or arrange. For instance, we need to set up a conference call. And, can you set up the meeting for tomorrow? Sort out means to resolve or organize. You could say, let's sort out these issues before the deadline. Or, I need to sort out my schedule for next week. Take off means to become successful or to leave the ground. For example, the new product really took off in the market. And, the plane will take off in 10 minutes. Take on means to accept a responsibility or challenge. You might say, I'm ready to take on new projects. Or, she decided to take on a leadership role. Turn down means to reject an offer. For instance, he turned down the job offer because it didn't meet his expectations. And, I had to turn down the invitation due to prior commitments. Work out means to find a solution or to exercise. You could say, let's work out the details of the contract. Or, I try to work out at least 3 times a week.
I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. If you enjoyed the content and found it helpful, hitting that thumbs up button makes a huge difference. It not only shows your support, but also helps others discover this channel. And if you want to stay updated with more insights and fun content, subscribing is the way to go. It's quick, easy, and ensures you won't miss out on anything we share.